Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great. How about you?
I am doing great.
It is
Looks like
Wednesday.
we are missing Miss Jessie Lynn today, but we're gonna hold it down.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We hope she is enjoying whatever she's doing and having a good
Yes,
day.
absolutely. Well, introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I am Nicole Crawford. I'm a realtor out of the Greensboro area, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty.
Hey, and I am Erica Batts. I am your mortgage loan officer, and I am with New American Funding.
All right, now, Miss Eric.
Yes. So today, our topic is weathering the storm.
Yes.
So Jesse has shared a story about well, I'll read the story to you guys. And it says a young woman was driving with her father and they ran into a storm. The young woman asked her father, "What should I do?" Her father said, "Keep driving." The cars began to edge. The storm was getting worse. "What should I do, Dad?" "Keep driving," replied the father. Up ahead, a trailer was pulling up as well. She said, "Dad, should I stop? It's terrible, and everyone is stopping." Her father said, "No, keep driving." Now the storm was stronger, but she obeyed her dad, and soon she could see a clearing ahead. After a couple of kilometers, he was again in a quiet, calm, and sunny area. Her father told her, "Now you can stop and get out." She said, "But why now?" He told her, "When you go out, look back. All of the people who surrendered are still in the storm. You did not give up, and your storm is behind you. If you're going through hard times, remember, even when everyone else, even when the strongest stops or gives up, you keep going because soon your storm will end and the sun will shine and shine on you again."
Amen.
Yes.
No, no, no.
So that's what we're talking about today is weathering the storm, and whether it's a real estate storm, whether it's a personal storm, whatever you got going on in your life, how do we keep going?
Absolutely. I think for me, I've heard and I keep getting the stories about the storm. Even this morning on my walk, I was listening to a message from one of our local pastors, and she was talking about the storm. And her comment. So when I read this, I was like, "Oh, what perfect timing!" Because it keeps coming up all week. And she said, God didn't say He was going to take you out of the storm, but He would be with you through the storm. And so it
Ooh.
made me really, really think about this thing because a lot of times we want to be removed from the storm. We don't want to go through the hard things. But the
Mhm.
hard things in the storm is what builds us and what builds character and what keeps us going. And when you hit that storm again, you know how to brace yourself for it just a little bit different. And each time we build a little bit more character, and each time we get stronger so that when the storms come, they don't knock us as hard as they did before. So whether it's the real estate home buying process, which can be a storm in itself, Lord
Yes.
Jesus knows, or just our personal life, I think the storms don't come to take us out and kill us and destroy us, but
Hmm.
to actually build character and make us stronger.
Okay, I will agree with that. I know there's a popular gospel song that says, "He won't give you, or like He won't give you more than what you can bear." And I've always kind of thought that yes, He will, because if He gives you more than what you can bear, that's when you then go to Him and say, "Hey, listen, I need some help." Now, if He
Absolutely.
gave it to you where you could do it all by yourself, then you
We
wouldn't need to
wouldn't
go
have
to Him.
absolutely. Absolutely. And
Well,
that's the truth.
so whether it is, like I said, things that are, if it's real estate related, if it's personal, whatever it is, sometimes you got to go to somebody else for help. Whether that's your real estate agent, your lender, whether that's, your best friend who maybe have gone through this, or, any of those kind of things. Those are things that are important. And I feel like, these people are placed in our lives so that you can know where to go. And sometimes that support is what you need in order to be able to make it through.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing for a lot of people is asking for help. We don't like to ask for help. We don't like to because it's one of those things where I should already know this or I'm ashamed to ask
Mhm.
because I don't know. But reach out to somebody and ask for help because there are people that really don't mind helping. And as far as this real estate journey, that's why we're here. That's why we sacrifice and come in on Wednesdays and Fridays to make sure we're spreading the right information so people know how to reach out and get help.
Right. And just being here, and I agree, that's why we're here. If you have questions, if you have, concerns, if you think you're ready to buy a house, but you're not sure, or any of those things, because a lot of times I think, you see these popular internet sites that tells you about as far as the house. They give you kind of all the basic information, but then where do you go? What do you do after that? Do you call the person that's on on the listing? Do you call what do you do? And I feel like a lot of people want to buy a house but don't know how.
Right.
So
And that makes me think about the part of the story where he said, "Don't stop, keep going." Because
Mhm.
if you look back, a lot of people stopped, and so they're still in the midst of the storm. And a lot of times we think it's easier to just quit, but then when you start over, you're starting over. You're right there in the middle where you stopped at. So instead of stopping, just keep going, keep striving for what it. If it takes you a year, if it takes you 2 years, keep going, because believe it or not, each little step you make takes you closer to what you're trying to achieve, and it
Right.
takes you closer to being able to see that sun shining again in whatever you're going through. So just keep going.
Right. And then you still further along than the person that's still standing at the starting line going, I think I'm gonna get started at some point. So whether it doesn't matter how long it takes you. There's people,
Absolutely.
there are people out here buying their first house at 85 years old, or at 90 or whatever your age is. Those are things that people are doing. So it's definitely something that you could do. Hey, how are you? Somebody said, hey, ladies. So, yeah. So, is there any storms out there that, for people in our audience, how have you weathered the storm? Is there something that you've done or some measures that you've taken in order to be able to weather the storm?
Ooh,
Drop your
is
comments below.
that's right. That's for me, when I know I'm going through, music is one thing that I really love to fall back on. Um, Prayer, a lot of prayer,
Mhm.
a lot of prayer,
Yes.
and just making sure that whatever I am feeding to in myself is positive, whether it be podcast, music, listening to sermons. And it's amazing how I can pull up a sermon, and I do usually do it once a day. I'll pull up YouTube, and whatever sermon that's at top is what I listen to. It's almost on point every single day.
Hmm.
And that somebody said journaling, that's so true. Getting that stuff out, that's a great way to make sure that you're helping yourself through that storm. We have to stay positive through it.
Okay. And sometimes it's other things. So I know, like, when I used to, when you be going through things, I would listen to the blues.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't care what you're going through. Them people on them blues songs, oh, they had it much worse. So then you thinking, you know what? If they can make it through all of that, because they'll be on there talking about, Lord, my dad died or my dog died. My partner left me. I lost my job. I got hit by a car. Like all of this stuff. And I remember this one song. It's a ZZ Hill song that my dad is a big ZZ Hill fan, and so in this particular song, all of those things that happened to him. Then he got on a bike to try to go to work, and then the bike chain broke on the way. But it was like everything that could go wrong absolutely did.
Mm-hmm.
But then you think, you know what? He still kept going.
That's
So
it.
those are the things that kind of get me through some time, where it's like, Lord, if they can get through that, or even achievements that you've made in your life. There are things. I went to At one point, I went to Australia by myself, and I was there for 2 weeks. And a lot of times I say benchmark that I can use, like other things that I'm doing. I'm like, now if I can go halfway around the world for 2 weeks by myself, I know I can do this right here.
That's right.
So
That's
a
right.
Facebook user said, no matter what you're going through, remember that God is only using you. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord.
Absolutely.
Gratitude journal. Okay. Podcast,
Absolutely.
YouTube. Definitely some things that I feel like, will help you get through these storms.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Good.
whatever you use to get through that storm, just know that we try not to compare ourselves to somebody else, but
Mhm.
typically if we look out, somebody else's storm is a lot worse than ours. And we
Right.
get so accustomed to being so self-involved in what our storm looks like that we don't realize there's people out there that have a lot worse than we do. So just making sure we keep the gratitude for at the forefront of it, and just being thankful for what we do have.
Right. And then sometimes even when you're making it through the storm, you forge this path through this storm. Somebody else is coming behind you, coming through those same footsteps, because they're like, oh, I see that she's doing this or he's doing that. I can do that same thing. So even when you're going through, you can still be an inspiration to other people.
Absolutely. Because if you keep going, you blocking the rain from hitting them. Look at you.
Yeah, look at you.
Look at you.
Okay.
Listen at you. But that's great. That's great.
Yes, good. Well, that's all I've got. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about today?
That's it for me. Just keep going in the storm. No matter how hard it gets, just keep going.
Good, good. Well, that's us for today. And again, if you don't know me, I'm Erica Batts. I am with New American Funding. I'm your mortgage loan officer. You can reach me at 919-608-7916, or you can reach me at ericabatts.com.
And I am Nicole Crawford. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty, servicing the Greensboro Triad area. And I can always be reached on my cell, which is 336-457-3007.
Cool. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.